Hello, hello. And I have a quick summary Coles Notes version today of my recent in-depth training, 3 Secrets to Creating Engagement on Social Media. That won't take all of your time. I think this is a really important topic right now because we're spending so much time on social media, typically consuming a lot of information. And so I wanted to talk to you about how to turn that consumption into strategy, how to stop scrolling, and how to start using social media to benefit your business. And first of all, I want to say thank you for taking some time to do something that's positive for your business right now. It is a really challenging situation that we're all going through, and I think it's just really important to continue to be optimistic, to look to the future, and to use this time in a positive way. So I just want to acknowledge you for spending some time doing some learning and some growth for your business right now. And that is awesome. So today's training is going to teach you how to choose which social media platforms you should use, the one shift you need to make in order to create more engaging content, and also how to show up more authentically online so you don't come across as salesy. A lot of the times when I talk to small business owners, they're worried about sounding salesy. They don't like the idea of selling. And let me tell you, there are ways to do it that feel aligned for you. And I want to show you some of those tips and tricks that I use personally when it comes to especially social media content. So first, let me give you a little background about me. I'm born and raised in the small town of Cochrane, Alberta, where I now live with my husband and my 2 daughters who are 4 and 6 years old. So you could say that I was in a hurry to get things done in my life, which is why I graduated university, traveled to more than 20 countries, married my high school sweetheart, had 2 kids, and bought 3 houses even before I turned 30. And I was also working in my career of choice, which was public relations, and I had a good job at a big PR agency. And that's just pretty much how I operated until life threw me and my family a major curveball. One day I was at work and I was in a team meeting and I got a phone call from my dad. I looked at my phone and I just knew in my heart that I had to take that call. So I stepped out into the hallway and I answered the phone. And Dad said, "Mom has had a seizure and she's on her way to the hospital in an ambulance." So her cancer had moved to her brain. And even though this had been sort of a 2-year process of treatments and ongoing health issues, it felt like that was all of a sudden, this just got real. And it was a defining moment for me. And I immediately looked at my priorities and I chose to take a leave of absence from my job. I just wanted to spend more time with my mom and I wanted my kids to have a relationship with her. They were only 1 and 3 at the time. So I left my job, and what I didn't know was that I only had 8 days left, and then my mom passed away. So when you experience a loss like that, you think about life differently. And I started thinking about what was really important, and it became super clear what wasn't. It wasn't dragging my kids out of bed at 6 in the morning to take them to a day home and be looked after by somebody else so that I could go to work for somebody else's mission. And it wasn't feeling stressed and exhausted and not having enough quality time with my family. So I knew in that moment that my priorities had shifted, and I wondered why I or anybody else would do something that didn't bring joy to my life. So I started my own business. I took my decade of public relations experience and I wanted to bring that to my community because I looked around and I saw a lot of small business owners who were working really hard to make their dreams come true. But I also saw them struggling because if you're a small business owner, I bet you probably started your business so you could do the thing that your business does, not so you could be a marketing specialist, right? So I thought I can help these business owners by giving them the tools that they need to keep their businesses running so that they can be profitable and serve the people that they want to serve. And one of those tools is social media. So today I'm going to share with you my 3 secrets to increasing engagement on social media that won't take all of your time. So the first secret is that you don't have to be everywhere. You only need to spend time where your ideal clients are spending their time. And you really have to consider your own capacity for social media when you're choosing how you are going to use it. There's multiple social media platforms out there, and you don't have to learn them all if you don't have the capacity to do so. Because if you're not able to show up consistently, the efforts that you make on social media will be minimally effective because inconsistency leads nowhere. So that is my main message that I want you to take home. So choose a platform based on where your ideal client is located. And the other consideration is to consider the kind of content that you want to share and what your goals actually are. One of the main questions I often get is, should I be on Facebook or Instagram? So let's break that down just a little bit here. Facebook is still the largest social media platform with 2 billion monthly users. There's a lot of flexibility when it comes to content options, and this is still the primary social media platform that exists. You can use Facebook in a lot of different ways, including creating groups or creating events on the platform, and you can do some things like fundraisers, watch parties, and there is some use of the stories feature as well. Instagram is the second largest social media platform. They have 1 billion monthly users. And by that, what that means is at least 1 billion people log in at least one time per month on Instagram. And you probably know that Instagram is actually owned by Facebook. So if one goes away, like if Facebook goes away, Instagram goes away. And so therefore, Facebook is really just like, Zuckerberg's got it all under control here. I just want you to also understand some of the key features of Instagram that make it interesting, which are hashtags. And there's always so many questions about hashtags, but essentially think of them as like file folders that help organize conversations online. And so therefore, hashtags are a way for you to get to be exposed to other people who might be following or using or searching a hashtag versus just the people who have selected to follow you on the platform. So it does increase your reach if you use the right hashtags. There's also the DMs, which is a conversation that you can have with different followers, with people that you follow, to try and actually create some relationships on the platform. And then stories is a really important piece of Instagram. It's an entirely separate feed where you post content that disappears within 24 hours. So more behind the scenes, less polished kind of imagery, more like short video clips, kind of using some of the fun stickers and polls, boomerang videos, things like that kind of belong in the stories because it's kind of a more short, digestible thing and it grows all day long. And then IGTV is Instagram's video hosting platform that's tied right into the tool so that you can create content and share videos up to 60 minutes long. Because prior to IGTV, on Instagram, you could only share videos that were up to 60 seconds long, which was quite limiting. But they've really expanded that and they're trying to basically make their own YouTube on Instagram. So the second secret for social media engagement is to ask for engagement, okay? The actual goal on social media is interaction. If people just see your post and don't do anything with it, less people will see your post because the algorithm won't register you as having activity, and you're not going to make much of an impact with people. So think about when you are using social media and you're scrolling, you're not thinking so hard. because you're just kind of consuming. So therefore, you as a poster need to tell people what you'd like them to do. And that's why I say every single post needs a call to action on it. So I know the feeling when you create a post and then you look at your analytics and it's like, wah, wah. Nothing really happened, not really getting any likes or shares or comments on this. And then you start thinking, oh, this doesn't even work. You have to pay to be seen. What's the point of social media anyways? When I started writing my posts differently and including this piece at the end, I saw a major increase in engagement. People were actually commenting, people were sharing, people were liking, and I grew my Instagram account following by more than 50% since January of this year, so in 3 months. And I will just say though, engagement builds over time, so consistently showing up with those posts in addition to writing them differently is a combination that you need to achieve in order to get more engagement. So I post on Instagram every day, 5 to 6 times a week. So that is just how I achieved my 50% growth. And so I just want to be transparent about the multiple pieces of that. These are the types of calls to action you can include on your post. You ask people to like. On Instagram, we like to use casual language such as double tap if you agree, or double tap if you feel that way too. Share, ask people to share, ask people to tag a friend, ask people to comment below, or specifically ask a question that you want them to answer in the comments. And this will help a lot. You're still not going to get 100% of people answering. One thing that does work really well when you ask a question is to make it multiple choice and put option A, B, or C, and then people only have to press one letter to respond. And you will probably get more interaction than if you're asking some sort of deep, thoughtful, thought-provoking question to them. So the secret is share personal stories. So know that not every post is about your product or your service, and that you should not be selling in every post that you do. Because the purpose of social media is to create a relationship, to build trust, and allow people to get to know you so they can know who you are and build that know, like, and trust factor so that they're thinking about you the next time they need that thing that you want, or that they just like your content so they're actually going to look at it more. It doesn't have to be all business on social media when you have a business account. Now, this may freak you out a little bit because you value privacy and you don't want your life on the internet, and that's all normal, but you can still share personal stories with boundaries that you set for yourself. So I used to not share my personal story about my mom passing away because I thought that people would think I was looking for sympathy or attention or something like that, when really what I was doing was sharing a story that helped to create connection. When you share a personal story, it doesn't make people feel sorry for you. It makes people think about what their version of that story is, and then they relate to you. You see, personal stories are all about creating connection, showing that you're a human, building trust, and making people remember you. It also helps people talk about you to others. So think about like any movie that you've ever watched. You can probably recite a general plot line because of the way that it's told in a story. That is actually scientifically proven to show how your mind remembers things. So when you share those intimate details and create the connection and the relatability with people, they are going to be able to recall that, think of you more often, and also even refer you to other people. Okay, so that was a blast through all of that information, and I want to recap those secrets for you. First secret, you don't have to be everywhere online. So figure out where your ideal clients are and start there. Number 2, the one shift you need to make in order to create engaging content is to ask for engagement. Call to action every post. Number 3, is that the way to show up authentically online so that you don't come across as salesy is by sharing your personal stories to create connection and relationships. So you might be thinking, that is all great because I gave you permission to choose a platform that's going to work best for you, to be consistent, and I told you how to write more engaging posts, and I talked to you about sharing your true self. But you might still be thinking, I don't know what to say. How could I possibly create a post every day? What is my message, and how do I create content that sounds like my voice, feels authentic, and actually attracts my ideal clients? And P.S., who are my ideal clients anyways? Well, I would say great questions. This was really a condensed training. I normally spend at least an hour just doing this. And obviously I have a whole job in marketing. And if I could teach everything I knew in 15 minutes, I would be out of a job. So I will tell you though, there is a way to make your marketing easier. And it starts with my program called Master Your Messaging. Let me tell you one last quick story. When I would go to networking events, and I went to a lot of them, I would say, hi, I'm Kelly. I do marketing and PR for small businesses. And everybody I talked to would be like, oh, that's very interesting. And we would have a short conversation, exchange business cards maybe, and then nothing would happen. And they would never become a client of mine. And that is because I wasn't clear about who I was talking to or how I could help them. So now I say, I help passionate entrepreneurs who don't know what to say on social media by creating a brand message that they can grow their business without feeling salesy. And that transformation in my messaging, even just as an introduction when you're meeting new people, is part of the process that I teach through this program, Master Your Messaging. And if you don't know what to say on social media, you also probably struggle with what to say on your website, in your marketing materials, when you introduce yourself to new people. And what it all boils down to is two things: understanding your audience and knowing your message. And that's the basis of a strong brand. And this is my favorite quote. It's from Simon Sinek. He's an author. He says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And so I help you figure that out through Master Your Messaging. This is a course that helps you create your brand messaging that's aligned with your values, so your marketing sounds like you, makes you become more confident in your content creation because your voice is defined and you know what to say when you sit down to write those posts or that website content or whatever it is that you're working on. It helps you show up more consistently on social media so that you can build lasting relationships and convert your followers into paying clients. It helps you get clear on who your ideal clients are so you can speak directly to them. And this is through a process that I have streamlined because I have taken dozens of courses that have included ideal client avatar or some version of that process. And I think that a lot of the stuff that they get you to figure out is really irrelevant. And this is also a group program. So you get support from a group of other entrepreneurs. You have accountability, you have a team, you have other people to ask questions of and get feedback from. And it is all happening live from April 21st to May 26th. So you can get more information about this program at ks-communications.ca/messaging, and your deadline to join is April 19th, because like I said, we're doing it live. So thanks for taking some time today to learn a little bit about social media messaging and how to show up online with your business, especially right now, because there's so many people on the internet scrolling and consuming content. Why shouldn't it be some of your valuable content that you're sharing to help promote your business? I hope that you enjoyed this program. And if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments and head on over to my website here and you can learn about my program. And you can also book a call with me to discuss whether it's a good fit for you. I hope that you are staying well wherever you are, and that you have a great day.